Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome, Unity Southeast. It is the 11th monthly edition of Activate Your Power Now. Gratitude, more than just once a year. So before we start, I just want everybody to take a conscious breath in through the nose and out together. So breathe and out. Gratitude. What does that mean to you? Gratitude. Step by step, becoming the best you. Who are you when it's time to step up and shine? Who are you when it's time to rise to the high vibe? Can you be grateful when things seem to be not so bright? Can you be grateful when the sun is not shining? You see, in gratitude, we believe that in order to have more gratitude, to be grateful, we have to do more. Right? And there's a side to that. There's a side to that because in Activate Your Power, the meaning of that is activating the power within. The power of unconditional love, the power of grace, the power of gratitude. Fanning the flame and stoking it, allowing that energy to overcome and wash away. To really embody gratitude. The practice itself is not a thing of doing, it's a state of being. That's why it's more than just once a year, it's a lifestyle. So how can we embody gratitude in its essence? How can we step into that realm, into that world? You see, there's one side to it where it's the positive side, where we step and we positive affirmations. Right? We do the gratitude challenge, 21 days, right? It's all over. And that's a catalyst, but that only provides a temporary fix. It's a relief that we run towards when we're in pain. But then when we feel that relief, what happens then? It just fades away. There's only so much concentration, only so much energy and time and will we can put towards it. And when the catalyst for that pain has subsided, what is left? You see, in itself, there's another side to embodying gratitude. This is what I call the negative side. We have the positive side, the side of doing, and we have the negative side, the side of allowing it, the side of receiving. You see, this is the secret right here. Receiving and surrendering to what is. Because in our mind, we think we know what's best for us. And when our life doesn't match up to that reality, now we're in suffering, we're in pain because of the expectations, the cultural norms. Society is telling us that this is how life is supposed to be, and when it doesn't line up, now we're thinking, oh, something that we did wrong, and in that essence, we're not present. We're caught up in the future, or thinking about the past, and gratitude itself is eluding us. Acceptance itself is evasive. So how do we make that shift from trying to do so much to be grateful and just be grateful, and from that expression, everything we do comes from that source, from that energy. And I picture it as a ball of yarn. You see, it's like we have to let go of the identities of those thoughts that keeps us trapped in a reality that's not congruent with the present. We have to release the story, accept it, surrender to it, get out the way, and allow that energy of source, that energy of love, gratitude to shine through. We can't use the same mind that got us in the same place to get us out. By getting out the way, we allow what needs to be. From there, over time, we become all that we came here to be. We become gratitude. We become the lifestyle. We become the change. And this is what Activate Your Power Now is all about, being the change. Unfolding and allowing that story to be. And allowing grace to enter our life. And that brings me up to our first speaker. This woman is a light in everybody's lives. She brings the heat wherever she goes. She has a style that's unmatched. Right now, she's looking beautiful. And this is right up her alley. This is who she is. She has the moniker Gratitude Guru. This is what she does, and she's great at it. She brings that energy each and every day. So give it up for Grace Strong.
Wow. Thank you. Well, how I thought I'd start tonight is I'm actually going to give you the definition of gratitude and the 3 different types of gratitude. I'm going to read them. Gratitude is one of many positive emotions. It's about focusing on what's good in our lives and being grateful for the things we have. Gratitude is pausing to notice and appreciate the things that we often take for granted, like having a place to live, food, clean water, friends, family, and even computer access. What are 3 types of gratitude? Some psychologists further categorize 3 types of gratitude. The first one is gratitude as an effective trait, one's overall tendency to have a grateful disposition. Number 2 is a mood, daily fluctuations in overall gratitude. And the third one is an emotion, a more temporary feeling of gratitude that one may feel when receiving a gift or something from a friend. So I consider myself a gratitude whisperer. Why do I consider myself a gratitude whisperer? Because I literally practice gratitude every day. When I say I do that, I truly do all 3. Now, I have to be honest with you. I had a very hard time grasping the emotion side of gratitude. For a very long time, I showered everybody I knew with greetings, gratitude, gratitude cards, kindness, appreciation. That was my life. So I had the first 2 types of gratitude down pat. But guess what? I had a very hard time with mindset to accept the third. And that was, I could not receive gratitude. I wasn't good at it. I was afraid that I would react poorly. If somebody gave me a gift, they might see I didn't like it. If somebody gave me a compliment, I usually laughed it off or got shy and shied away. But then somebody told me something that opened my mind. And that was, you always need to give from your overflow, not from your depletion. That's exactly what happened in my mind. I realized that I had to learn to receive before I give, and then give to receive. It's a circle. And it's really all about mindset. Being open to gratitude, giving and receiving is so important to keep that vibration strong. I've always loved to see and hear the reactions that people give me when I give them a gift. Now I'm finally enjoying the reaction that I see when they give it to me. I've now learned to have all three types of gratitude in my heart, and that's made me very content and happy. Gratitude does really lift the vibration and energy in the world. When you give to give, it comes back in abundance. When you give to get, it gets taken away. I am so aware of that because you know what? When I get up every morning, I act on a prompting to send a card of gratitude to the first person who comes to my mind. Now, I send a card. You could text somebody, call somebody, even go see somebody. That's up to you. But I find the cards work because guess what? The cards arrive when they need to get there. I could tell you so many stories of people phoning me, crying, or texting me saying, you know, Grace, I had the worst day yesterday. And the only thing that came in the mail was your card of gratitude. And it made my day. Guess what? When that happens, it makes my day too. So I'm going to get you to do me a favor. I'd like everybody to close their eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. Now I want you to let your mind get quiet and empty of thought. Now, open your mind to the first person that comes to your mind. Grasp that person in your mind. Was it somebody that you haven't talked to in a while? Maybe somebody you haven't heard from in a while. Or maybe it's somebody sitting right beside you. Maybe somebody you're seeing later. That's okay. Now open your eyes. That was a prompting. And you know what? That's God's way of telling you, you either need to reach out to that person or that person needs to hear from you. I start my day in gratitude. By acting on a prompting every morning, I start my day in a state of gratitude. Yes, I have a gratitude journal every morning. I thank my lucky stars for being alive, for everybody I know and everything I have. But I really find that literally thinking of someone else, it's no longer about me. And when I do that, the vibration comes out from me and goes out to the world. When I'm in a state of gratitude, my negative emotions stay in check. I feel happy. The energy in my heart is strong. I'm a much better person to be around, let me tell you, I know that. I'm in alignment with the universe. We need to show appreciation literally to everybody. Reach out in kindness, show love and gratitude. Appreciation appreciates. So I'm going to ask you to do one other little favor. I know that November is Gratitude Month. And that's because of Thanksgiving. But you know what? Being the gratitude whisperer that I am, I have a goal. I want gratitude to become a habit. So I want you to reach out in kindness to the people in your life and just say thank you for being part of my life. Every day, every month, every year. Not just one day, 1 month. No, every day, every month, every year. When was the last time you did that? I know what you're going to say. I say thank you all the time. Really? Do you really say thank you just for the sake of saying thank you? Just to show gratitude and to tell somebody you're grateful for knowing them? I don't know about you, but I think the whole world could use a little gratitude right now. Don't you? Are you with me? Now, Remember that person you were thinking about when you had your eyes closed? I want you to make me a promise. I want you to reach out to that person. And I don't care how you do it, but I want you to reach out to that person and see what happens. Well, I promise you that that is a nudge from God, and it happens all the time. So what I want you to do is listen to that prompting now. Act on those promptings in the future. And so we can raise the vibration and the energy in the world together. Will you do that for me? Thank you. And I'm really grateful that we had this time together.
I don't know about you, but sometimes God nudges me to reach out to people that I'm like, why? I don't know. But sometimes, you gotta follow that prompting because it leads to, greater just forgiveness and just acceptance and gratitude. Like, why is it so hard to receive gratitude? Why do we feel like we have to give from an empty cup? We don't give ourselves the gratitude that we want to give other people. Why is that? So, the next person I'm about to introduce is a dear friend of mine. This man is a soul brother. When I first met him, it's like one of those people where you see him, you're like, man, I know you from somewhere, but I don't know you. Where it's like a family reunion when our souls and spirits connect in communion. This man is a man on a mission. Came here to do big things and really spread the teachings and essence of presence. And that is what he embodies everywhere he goes. He loves the kids. His name is Reginald Wesley. Can we give a big round of applause for him as he comes up to the stage?
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I am so grateful that all of you are here for your own way of how you are. I'm so grateful. But man, that's hard. To follow this up, I just want to honor you and I appreciate it. But what I want to do is take you on a little journey of what it is for me to be grateful. Because I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for every experience I go through, for every person I meet. I'm grateful for everything that I have been through, that which I perceive to be good or bad, but knowing that neither one of those even exists. It's a perception of expecting something different rather than just allowing to be in so much gratitude because I am blessed to go through what I am going through. And that within me is giving me the presence to go through and not judge it and think it needs to be something different. But just allow. Can you truly just allow, Reginald? And sometimes I say, no, I don't want this today. I want to be fluffy. I want to be airy. I want to be dancing in the streets with the kids. Some days I get those, but most of the days, it's just being present with what is there. Because I have beautiful ancestors. And in this beautiful black body that I'm in, my ancestors lied of all their experiences, for the first time in humanity, we get to slow down and be present with what is experiencing through this body, through our souls, and their souls too. So I would like to share a little bit of this with you, if you would, please. So first, I want you to look around the room, look at all these beautiful souls that are here. All these beautiful souls. And you beautiful souls that are on the screen right now too. I would like for you to close your eyes. And we're going to go on a little journey. I want you to go back when you were a kid. You were playing, you were doing whatever you were doing. Someone maybe told you not to do that, not to be that way. How did it make you feel? What does that little person need from you right now? Can you offer it to that little person? And just breathe into that. Now I want you to go a few years ahead to maybe that age of 7 to 10. Can you think about whatever is coming to you? That experience. And can you just take a breath of that 7 to 10-year-old and allow what needs to show up? Now we're going to go a little bit higher. We're going to go from 10 to 15. What does that mean? What is that person? What experiencing gratitude for that person you need in that moment? And can you offer that to them? Without trying to fix it. Just offer what you can. And for those of us who are a little bit older, how about those 20s? We thought we knew how the world turns. What did they need? What information would you give to them? How would you comfort them to let them know that you got this? And just breathe with them. Breathe. And let's go up a little higher for those of us who can. In age. Now I want you to, whatever age that is that needs you right here, right now, for what you have to offer. Can you breathe with that? This next one, I want you to let go of who you think you are in this body right here, right now. And can you offer that it's been with you over lifetimes. And when I say lifetimes, my belief is that we just keep changing suits, but this spirit has been here and has never changed. What does it need from you right now? And can you breathe with that? Can you allow what it needs? Before you open your eyes, I want you to look back at all those experiences that you gave back to them and say thank you for making me who I am today. I am very grateful for the experiences that you gave me to evolve, to learn, to share, to be present with myself so that I can be present for others. Because it's through our experiences, whether it be good or bad, but I believe neither one exists, it changes us to be more grateful to be here, to be more compassionate to others, to allow. To come forth, to show who we really are. This is not an easy job. To be here, right now, in this world that we're living in this chaos. But the best thing about chaos is that means change is coming. Change is here, and if that's the case, we have to change with it. There are going to be days where you do not feel good, and you are going to be hard on yourself. Can you offer that gratitude to know that you have evolved that much, that you can offer yourself gratitude rather than shaming and guilting yourself and doubting who you really are? Knowing that you will get through this, that you have gotten through this, and that you are your best self because you can be present with it without trying to change it or fix it. That is what the new warrior is to me. A warrior of love and compassion and nurture. So if you would, go ahead and open your eyes. Now look around this room again. Look at all these warriors that are in here. Look at your tribe. You guys did this together, and we are here together. And all these experiences that we have been through, to bring us here, right here in this moment. Right here, right now. We are blessed. We are so blessed because we get it. See how clear it says? Change will come. But sometimes change comes because we are allowing ourselves to change, allowing ourselves to be the light, to be present with those who can't see the light within themselves. We have all gone through every experience we have gone through so that we can be there for others. We can learn from each other and we can share with each other. God don't give us nothing more than we can handle. And trust me, I was begging to differ. But I realized has never given me anything I can't handle. And I'm here right now. And everything around me says I should be. I should be in jail. I should be on some type of drug. But I am on some type of drug. I like that drug. This drug. I love that love. It's the best drug it is. That intuition that I trust so much. That because all of you are here that you trust, and all of you are there that you trust, that has helped you and guided you to keep you out of trouble. To send you in a different direction, drive a different way today. Go down this aisle instead of that aisle. Don't wear that, wear this. We just don't know. In the moment I gave up trying to know and allow, I truly understood what being grateful was. Because I am just like the rest of you. No longer am I trying to change or be something different. I am just, and I'm grateful for all of it and all of you. I love you all. Thank you. I appreciate you. Blessings. This is my soul brother. And I am so grateful for everything that he does bring to the table. We work for Greenworks on Saturdays. It's an organization that helps urban kids understand that they are connected to nature. They are one with nature. They are a part of nature. And it has been such a blessing to do this together with you. And I love you and thank you for turning me on to it. Because our future are with those children. And they are tuned in and tapped on to something we was told that we need to be something different. And I'm saying this because we need to be able to allow our children to stay in that innate awareness that they truly are, to cultivate those beautiful divine gifts that they are. Let their light shine all the time. And how can we learn from it? How can we learn to shine our light like they do? What do they have to teach us? They are our masters. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I know the kids, they teach me so much. See, the kids, they don't have to do anything. They're in that state of gratitude all the time. That's their natural state, the state of play. So when I look at them, I'm like, oh man, it's so easy. How can I tap back into that essence? How can I tap back into that inner child and realize that that joy and that love is right there for the taking? Everything else, like you said, is an illusion. What's real is the power of love, power of gratitude. That's what's real. And it's so easy to say thank you when everything is going right. But can you say thank you when things are not? See, that's a lesson, learning to accept ourselves through it all, love ourselves through thick and thin. It's easier said than done, but that's where the work is at. Can you be fully present in the now moment, realizing that this is where I need to be? This is exactly where God has put me. And by judging myself, I'm saying that I'm getting in the way. And I love myself through those judgments, through the shame, through the guilt. That's where the work is at. For our next speaker, she is embodying change as we speak. She is unfolding before your eyes, breaking free and loving herself through those judgments, through those thoughts, through everything that told her that she wouldn't be up here voicing her spirit. She is still taking that step along that path, along that journey with courage and bravery. And for that, I have so much respect and admiration for her path. I can't wait to see how everything unfolds for her in the future. And I love to see where she's at right now. Let's give it up for Heather Davis.
Good evening. So tonight I'm going to keep my time short and sweet and hope that I leave you with something that reminds you or encourages you to make changes that are necessary in your life to be more grateful for where you are today. Our topic this month is gratitude. A few years ago, I remember laying in bed and trying to come up with something to be grateful for. After quite a while, the best I could come up with was I was grateful for my toothbrush and a hot shower. I was broken and sad and felt like there was too much to conquer to get from where I was now to where I knew I needed to be. Everything I read or heard said to be grateful for everything and the love of life would follow. Well, that seemed pretty simple. So every day I would try to come up with something more meaningful than the day before, and before long I realized I had so much to be grateful for. I just needed to continue doing the work, and this love of life that I heard about would follow. Now today, every morning I start my day with this saying: thank you, Jesus, for another day. May you guide my words and my steps as I go through this day with love, light, and gratitude. And that simple phrase has literally changed my life. You see, the one single most important tool that has been the biggest impact on my life is this one: living a life of gratitude. Now, I don't know if you were born with a negative or a positive spin on things, or if it develops over time as you go through your life, but I remember always leaning a little bit towards the negative. Today I wake up most mornings with a heart of gratitude. I still struggle, but it's much easier to get back on track than it used to be. Psychology shows gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. It helps people feel more positive emotions and overall better health. There are so many benefits to this lifestyle. So how do you start to live a life of gratitude? For me, doing for others was a great starting point. Being there when others needed help to fill their cup also filled mine. Small gestures or big, it doesn't matter. Also, gratitude journal has been very helpful. Starting each day or ending tonight with jotting down a few things that you're grateful for. I started off with 3 and worked my way up to 10. It's cool to see the change in your list. Now there may be days that the toothbrush and shower are the best you can come up with, and that's okay. Other days you may be amazed at how blessed and grateful you are for the life that you're living. I have a lot more of those days now than I ever did. Over the last year or so, my life has changed dramatically. I currently have big changes taking place for me as well. I'm at the end of an era, and I'm grateful and excited for the life that is ahead of me. Tomorrow is never promised, so I think it's important that you show and you share gratitude with the ones that you love as often as you can. That being said, in this moment in real time, I ask that you allow me to take a few minutes to show gratitude for the life that God and I created with the help and support of many people in this room. My amazing tribe, my ohana, my brothers and sisters, my people. Some of these people aren't here, so I'm going to go ahead and say this because I think they might be watching online, but we're going to start with Isabel. Izzy, I'm so grateful for you and the continued love and support that you show me every day. You constantly remind me to live with intention and stay true to my heart and not what others think. I know you have my back and I have yours, and I'm grateful that you're my sister and my friend. Dave's not here, but I can't thank Izzy without including Dave. I thank Dave for his friendship. It's been a pleasure watching him find his light, and we'll be tearing up the dance floor before we know it. Bren, I am so grateful for you. The support, the nudging, the encouragement, the love and sisterhood that we've created is something I will never take for granted. You are my friend, my mentor, and my family. I love you too, girl. James, I'm not gonna cry on this one. My coach, my friend, my brother. I'm so grateful for you. I wouldn't be on this stage without you. Your guidance and your belief in me pushed me exactly when I needed it. My trust in you made me trust in me. Thank you for all the encouragement, the words of wisdom, the different perspectives to help me get out of that box and get it to become naked and free. Andrea, thank you for the consistent encouragement that you provided since the day that I met you. There were days your words pushed me to the next level, and I will always appreciate that. I always know when I need to smile, I can find one in you. Chuck Doyle, back of the room. Brother, we bonded instantly. Thank you for bringing back my nickname, the encouragement, the support, and believing in me. Thank you for the deep conversations and all the laughs. Sean is not here, but she already knows how I feel about her. I've been so proud to watch her fall and rise from the ashes as the phoenix that she is. I look forward to sharing the stage with her. Evie's also not here, but Evie, thank you for reminding me to be a queen. Your hugs and your support were not overlooked. Thank you for being a light in a sometimes dark world. I also consider you to be one of my sisters. Randy Fickey, I'm grateful for you and the hours of playful banter that we shared. And last but definitely not least, I want to thank the newest member of my tribe, my man. Thank you for your support, your daily reminder that I am neither too little nor too much. Thank you for knowing my worth when I may temporarily forget. Thank you for keeping a smile on my face, a song in my heart, and always making me laugh. You made a liar out of me, because 2 months ago I stood on this stage and said Prince Charming did not exist. Yet you most definitely do. Doesn't God have a funny sense of humor? You blew into my life and shook it up in the best of ways. You being here tonight means more than you know. Thank you to all of you for giving us the opportunity to do this. Please take time to share your gratitude and appreciation with those that you love. I will leave you with this. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Positive, like-minded people will make your life better, while negative people with the victim mentality will keep you stuck. Choose wisely who you keep in your circle, and always be grateful.
Thank you, Heather, for those words. That was beautiful. Let's turn up the energy. She mentioned gratitude journal is what she does. Let's do a gratitude space. So repeat after me. I am grateful.
I am grateful.
I am grateful for the gift of life.
I am grateful for the gift of life.
I am grateful for the gift of breath.
I am grateful for the gift of breath.
I am grateful for just being.
I am grateful for just being.
I'm grateful for the beautiful skin I have.
I'm grateful for the beautiful skin I have.
I'm grateful for my friends and the tribe that's in front of me.
I'm grateful for my friends and the tribe that's in front of me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are two powerful words. That's all you got to say. You wake up, thank you for the gift of life. You go to bed, thank you. That's all you need. So for the next person that's coming to the stage, man, she's just a ball of energy. She is a business coach. She has a YouTube channel where she helps awaken freedom within people. And she does it with grace. And she makes it look easy. She comes in rocking these fluorescent colors. I love it. She has her own style, her own unique flavor, and she rocks it. She's beautiful. Give it up for Andrea Luzon.
Hello.
Hello.
Turn this mic. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Awesome. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Andrea Luzon Health Coates. Something inside me is a little bit nervous, so you can support me by taking a breath with me. Ready? Inhale. And exhale with some sound. Ready? On this one, you're going to say some words. You're going to say, I'm grateful for this breath. You can say it on your out breath in your mind and in your heart is okay, or out loud. So ready? Inhale. And exhale out, thinking, I'm grateful for this breath. Last one together. I'm grateful for this moment in your mind and in your heart. Ready, inhale. And exhale out. I am grateful for this moment. Thank you. Thank you. Andrea Luzon is my shorter name, my first name and part of my middle name. Andrea Luzon is my power name, my life coaching name, my energy healer name. Andrea Luzon is the name that brought me here today. It's the name that helped me embody and reach for my title, Legacy Liberator. What is a legacy liberator? A legacy liberator is someone who stands for you, rediscovering your truth. Not the mask that you put on in different environments all across your life, but the real you, the spark, the love legacy, the essence of you. I love to call it love legacy. This is the imprint that you make on hearts and minds simply by showing up. Your presence, your words, your deeds. But what does this have to do with our talk tonight? What does love legacy have to do with gratitude more than once per year? So much. Gratitude is a practice. It's a tool that can support you on your homecoming journey. When I look around this room and when I see you online, those of you who are watching, I believe in my heart that you know you're on a homecoming journey, that maybe you have a daily practice that supports you in coming home to your greater self-love, greater self-trust. Maybe you know you're honoring it in your body, rediscovering the real you. And maybe not, and that's okay. I believe that we are all on a journey of rediscovering our authentic self, that God spark, that love legacy. So gratitude is a practice because noticing brings more of what you notice. Anyone ever been car shopping looking for a particular make and model and color? And you notice that in the hours, the days, the weeks, maybe months around that car shopping experience, do you notice that there's a lot of that make and model and possibly also color on the streets? You're bringing in more of what you notice. You're noticing what you're noticing. You are heightening your vibration and magnetizing in what you expect. You are changing your vibration. The group that brought you here tonight, Activate Your Power Now. I may be the newest member as of today in this group, but what I know, or what I think I know about this group, is that it's about at least 3 things. It's about building community, it's about rediscovering your unique truth, and it's about shedding harmful generational patterns. And those 3 things, they require practice. It takes showing up. It takes you being curious, leaning into curiosity. It takes you doing some inner work and really being vulnerable. Nothing great happens in our lives without a little bit of risk. Ask any great hero if they were being vulnerable and if they really reflect on themselves. There was some risk involved. They were really being vulnerable. So gratitude can be part of you ending your suffering. It can be part of you feeling more alive. So you're bringing in more of what you want. So I'm going to stretch all of us and emphasize that we get to be grateful for the catalyst in our lives. What's a catalyst? Something that creates change. Does everyone remember chemistry class, the beaker with the solutions in it, and then you put in 1 drop of one more element and all of a sudden there's like an explosion, or there's bubbles, or something really fun happens because you added 1 more ingredient. You added 1 more thing. So we get to experience gratitude for the catalyst in our life that creates change. But how do you use the gratitude tool when something's upsetting you? Because it's so easy to be in gratitude when the catalyst feels good. Maybe it's the new job, maybe it's the new honey, maybe it's the introduction to that person and then you get a new client. Something amazing and remarkable can happen and then it's easy to say, oh, I'm so grateful for that. But how do we step into gratitude for the disturbance, the upset, the unmet expectation, or the pain that we're feeling. How does that work? It's difficult to truly be in gratitude if you're not feeling your feelings first. Our society isn't so great at teaching at each next generation, this is how you process feelings. This is how you can feel yourself instead of just slapping Band-Aids on things or sweeping things under rugs. And then interestingly, that explosion happens eventually because you're not processing things. A woman in my empowerment circle, she coined this term. She called them the don't feelings. So we get to allow ourselves to process anger, sadness, jealousy, disappointment, unmet expectation, and maybe even your pain. And you can process through writing, painting, body movement, drive out to a field and throw some rocks and scream. Get a therapist. Do some of that deep trauma work. That will really support you in up-leveling your life. The triggers in your life are also the teachers that get to support you in magnetizing at a higher frequency. That is my belief. But Andrea, what if I'm in the experience? What if I'm in the upset? How do I be in gratitude when I feel like the upset catalyst is happening right now? So you can be in gratitude and be in your process at the same time. It's possible. You can be sad, you can be upset, and you can be fully present to your experience. So you see, I come from a long line of people who don't process feelings well. This is my perspective. This may not be theirs. But we're great at stuffing emotions. We're great at avoiding our feelings. We have a tendency to numb. Oftentimes, this is through overspending money. This is through binge watching television. This is through overeating or drinking alcohol. Right now in my life, someone that I love is suffering due to life choices. This person is in pain. A lot of us are in pain. I don't feel good about it. I've been angry. I have shed a lot of tears. And at the same time, it gave me an opportunity to look at myself. I have been 20 days free of numbing. What do I mean by that? Before coming here today, I typed in one of those sobriety calculators, and it was like, it's been 22 days. So I'm sharing that with you to hold myself accountable. For me to get underneath, why does my family choose to numb? Why do I choose to numb? Why has that been a behavior? I've also released 5 pounds of excess weight, so the positives just keep coming when you make positive life choices. But I am here to share with you today that I am making change, that anyone here can make change. I'm calling my family forward. We all get to make some changes. So I'm upset. When I'm upset about how someone else is showing up in the world, I'm pointing at them, okay? I'm shooting on them. Sounds a lot like a different verb, doesn't it? When we should on people. So you know what's interesting about pointing? 2 fingers, or at least 1 finger is pointing out. And how many fingers do you see pointing back at me? Isn't that fascinating? So what an amazing opportunity for me to stop judging some external source and realize how I am source. How am I sourcing this? So where in my life do I exemplify the behavior that I'm upset about? They should. They shouldn't. Why don't I look at those 3 fingers and look at my life? So how can that person's situation be the catalyst for me to make some real changes in my life? Do you know how powerful you are? You are creating mirrors everywhere in your life so that you can self-reflect, but only if you're willing to go deeper than you might have gone before. You can look at another person and see where you get to amplify your life. My challenge for everyone today is to look around your life. Look at the situations that are asking you to catalyze and wake up to the real you, not the mask, not the hiding, not all the facades. Wake up to the changes you've been wanting to make but you haven't yet. Wake up your love legacy, your God spark, your essence. It's there. There's just a little muck on it, but you get to dust that all off and shine. I am 22 days free of numbing myself. I am Andrea Luzon. I am liberating my legacy.
Congratulations. The triggers in your life are your teachers. I want everybody to repeat that after me. The triggers in your life are your teachers.
Triggers in your life are your teachers.
You know what they say, you're only triggered because you have triggers. So how do we get rid of the triggers? We have to process those feelings. We have to dissipate the emotional charge that comes with that experience. Because the catalyst is there for a reason. It's there to help us lift us into a higher vibration, a higher state of being, our truest nature. Leaving behind a love legacy, breaking down ancestral curses and blockages through awareness, acceptance, and right action. And not bypassing, not numbing ourselves. It's easy to numb ourselves. It's easy to distract ourselves from what really is present in our lives because we've been taught how to avoid. That's how society is. It's all surface level. They don't really teach us how to go deep within and really process our emotions, how to go deep within and really accept ourselves behind the mask. Well, step one, like you said, is just being aware of it, going through it. For our next person, she is short in stature, to say the least, but mighty in spirit. I can tell you that. Ambitious, the co-founder of BTBY, Becoming the Best You. We actually started at the same time, around the same time, I didn't even know, with Activate Your Power and BTBY. So we're definitely in alignment. But she's definitely a woman on a mission, a woman who knows what she wants and won't stop until she gets it. She has been just an immense help in my life, providing that love and upliftment when things weren't, I would say, as great. She's been there for me and for other people. Zach Brown. Let's give it up for Brenda Ringwood.
Gratitude. How many of you have that? Come on. We all have something to be grateful for, right? So I see Pat over here. She had her arms going up because we did that once before. So everybody raise those arms. Come on. Let's get that gratitude out. Let's receive it. Let's receive it. You know, it's a lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle. It's kind of like a diet. If you don't keep eating the foods that's going to keep you slim, you're eventually going to get fat. I'm a representative of that. I mean, I just am. I like my food. I was just talking about that with Izzy. I'm a stress eater. That's my drug of choice, right? But if I consistently make the choice to eat healthy, then I'm going to have a consistent weight, right? So I have to appreciate, I have to have gratitude for knowing my faults. Do we have faults? We do. I have a lot of faults. And I like to talk about the faults. Because when you talk about it, you are first acknowledging that you have them. How many of you have lots of faults? Yeah, and it's okay. There's only one perfect man that I know of. I want to talk a little bit about that. So lifestyle change. Lifestyle change is a mindset. Grace said it. It's also an emotion. right? Gratitude is an emotion. It's also a verb. Can it be a noun? What's a noun? Person, place, or thing. So is it a noun? It kind of is everything because it is part of you. So I'm going to take you back to 11th century BC. Long time ago. Completely different lifestyle than we live today, right? There was a woman named Hannah, and she was barren. She couldn't have kids. Not only was she barren, she was being taunted because of it. Because it was kind of a curse to not have children back then. And not only was she just being taunted by people outside of her circle, she was the other wife, married to this same man that another woman was married to. And that woman had children, lots of children. She had none. She was angry. She was mad at God. But she was also very grateful because God had blessed her in so many different ways. So she decided to continue to pray day in and day out and persevere. And she continued to express her anger with him at the same time having gratitude. Can you imagine that? Man, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you. But I love you, Lord. Right? How many of us tell our children that? How many of us tell other people that? I don't like you right now, but I love you. We all go through that. She's living a life of gratitude because she has faith and she's persistent in her faith. Now, faith can be in anything. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to a spiritual being. You can have faith that you're going to overcome something. You can have faith that you're going to go on vacation. You can have faith that you're going to get that promotion. Faith is believing in something. So if you're going to believe in something, what are you going to do to get it, right? What are you going to do to get it? So Hannah continues to pray and pray and pray. So she goes to the synagogue. She's in Israel, and there is a judge there. His name is Eli. And she confides in Eli, and she talks with Eli, and Eli is, kind of telling her what the scriptures are saying, what God's saying, what she needs to do. And she's persistent with her commitment to her faith. She's persistent with being grateful. He says, you need to go home, go on with your life, keep doing what you're doing. I think your stuff's getting ready to happen for you. I'm paraphrasing. She goes home, she has relations with her husband, and she gets pregnant. And she says, God, I'm going to give this child to you. I'm going to give, if it's a boy, I'm going to give him to you. How many of you guys are going to give up your kids because you're grateful? You ever think about it? There's times you might want to, right? But how are you going to make a sacrifice to have the gratitude to be thankful in every situation of your life? So can you imagine knowing now I'm pregnant, you don't know what you're having back in 11th century BC. And then you have this precious baby boy. And she names him Samuel, which means God heard me. He heard me. She has this child. She's nursing him. She's taking care of him. And the minute that he's weaned, she takes him to Eli. And she says, here's my son. I'm giving him to God. I'm giving him to you to raise. And she was grateful for that. She was grateful that she had this child. And she had a life of gratitude because of her faith. She knew that if she was persistent and that she followed what her job was supposed to be according to what God wanted for her, this was probably going to happen. It was just a matter of when. He goes, he becomes a child of God, and he goes on to become a great judge. See, they didn't have the government like we have today back then. They didn't even have kings back then. The judges ran the country. Samuel grew up to be a judge. He grew up to be a great judge. Not only did he become a judge because of his mother's gratefulness and because of his love for what she did and his commitment because of her commitment, he was also a prophet, and God was able to speak to him. He could hear God's voice. How many of you guys hear God's voice? Are you listening though? Because if you're hearing his voice, you better have gratitude. You better have gratitude. Can you imagine raising a son that you probably never thought was going to happen, right? You had faith that maybe it was going to happen, but you really weren't quite sure. So I'm having the gratitude because I already have a great life. I'm having the gratitude because I have a great husband. See, what I didn't tell you was her husband loved her better than the other wife. He would give her double the food portions even though they didn't have kids. But she got so angry and so upset that she couldn't eat. She couldn't function because she was taunted by her foes. She was taunted by the other wife. But yet, she was still grateful for her life. Samuel. There's 2 books in the Bible about him. Ruth has her own book of the Bible. There's a lot of women that are in the Bible. Esther. And then we have Hannah, who is just in a little section of the first book of Samuel. But her son went on to name the first king. See, when Samuel grew up and then had a family of his own, his children were wicked. They were evil. Can you imagine? All this gratefulness, and now his bloodline is evil. The people said, no more judges, we want a king. We want a king. He appoints Saul. Saul turned evil. He appoints David. He appoints David, whose bloodline is where Jesus Christ comes from. All because one woman had gratitude. So how many of you guys got gratitude? I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Come on, guys. Down in my heart. I got the joy, 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 joy. Down in my heart Tuesday. Everybody, come on now. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I have gratitude in my heart. I'm so happy, so very happy. I have gratitude in my heart. I'm not a singer, but singing releases endorphins. And it makes you be in a better mood. When you're in a better mood, you have room in your heart for gratitude. You have room in your heart to love this man. The anger that you were feeling towards this man subsides. And instead of seeing his faults, you see the things to be grateful for. I see great things in this woman. And I'm grateful that she gives everybody a chance that comes into her life. I'm grateful that Randy provides a platform so that she can have this year. I'm grateful for the friendship of James, for Grace, for Heather, for Chuck in the back. Anybody here, Linda, Pat, there's friendships that I used to take for granted. How many of you guys take your family for granted? We all do. We all do. My husband calls, I'm in a meeting. I told you I was in a meeting. Hey, I'm in a meeting. Can I call you back? Where's the gratitude? Where's the gratitude? Everybody stand up. Stand up. Look to the person beside you. There's 3 of you, turn to all of them. And I want you to say, I am thankful that you're here tonight. I want you to look to somebody in the row behind you. And in the last row, look to the one in front of you. And I want you to give them a hug. I want you to hug somebody. Hug somebody. That's gratitude. We stop showing emotion when we don't open our hearts to joy. That's all I got for you tonight, guys.
Wow. Thank you. Giving up your child as a sacrifice to God, that's definitely bold. I know my mom, she always told me, son, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. So I feel like that's a sacrifice right there. But what are you sacrificing to be in gratitude? Because they say the blessings, if you don't appreciate them, they become curses. So how are you putting on the lens of gratitude and stepping in an attitude and showing up as thankfulness, as appreciation? And it's a practice, like everybody's been coming up here and telling you their own perspectives and their own ways of how they tap into that attitude. It's a daily practice. We're bringing your attention and also at the same time processing what's inside that needs attention, that's coming up to be recognized, and giving it that 15 minutes of fame, allowing it to be. And I thank the next person for allowing us to be on this stage and giving everybody who steps onto this platform their own 15 minutes of fame. See, when I first met this gentleman, he had this look on his face, like he knew me. And I'm like, who is this guy? He's just sitting there, a little smirk on his face, just bobbing his head like, yeah, why are you here? Who are you? I'm telling them, Isabel and I are telling them what our plans are. And he's like, well, if you want to use the stage, you got to promise me that you come back. So we were thinking, okay, well, initially it was a one event, one-time thing, and it turned into a year commitment. But this man, so don't tell him something that you want to do, because he's going to light that fire underneath your butt and make sure that you do it and hold you accountable to it. That's just who he is. He has that power of love within him that really is hard to keep it in. He just wants to radiate it and help other people stand in that presence as well, unlock their own unique flavor. So let's give a warm round of applause for Reverend Randy.
All right, since Brian had you guys singing, and I know you can't, we're gonna sing. I'm gonna say a line, you're gonna repeat after me, okay? Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
And I'm gonna try again, and this time I want you to do it with enthusiasm, with power, with belief. Like there is spirit within you, and I want you to just to think about that child within you. The child that Reginald talked about. I want you to think about the purpose and the power that Andrea has talked about. I want you to think about the gratitude that you don't only have for everyone else, but you have for yourself as we sing these words. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
What if we did that? See, here's the thing. I wasn't always bound to be a minister at Unity Southeast in Kansas City. I remember being in 4th grade and going to Central City, which was this place that they had created where you could go and you could take on any personification you want. And I went and they said, you have options. You can be the mayor of the town. You can be the cook. You can be, and there was this plethora of things, and all of a sudden you could be a reporter, and I thought that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the reporter because I wanted to be able to say what was going on in the world and be able to put it in a way that was always moving people forward. You see, when I watch the news today, sometimes I don't feel like they're moving me forward. And I remember when I opted to be the reporter of this town, an adult took me to the side and said, in order to be a reporter, you have to know the who, the what, the where, the why, and the how. Those are the 5 things as a reporter is your responsibility. What is the who? What is the what is the where? What is the why? And what is the how? When I think of gratitude, I think that those 5 things are really crucial. You see, because we're always wondering what should we be grateful for. So let's just start with the who. Who should we be grateful for? Say everyone.
Everyone.
Who should we be grateful for?
Everyone.
So there's the who, the what. So what should we be grateful for? You're going to follow about everything. So who?
Everyone.
What?
Everything.
When. So when should we be grateful?
All the time.
Every time. Not just all the time, but every time. So who should we be grateful for?
Everyone.
When should we be grateful?
All the time.
See, I'm going to mess you guys up. Now, where should we be grateful? Everywhere. Where should we be grateful? And how should we be grateful? Ooh, see, now you're going to think about it. How should we be grateful? In every way. So, everyone, everywhere, every time, every way. That's when we should be grateful. You see, sometimes we forget that. And so I want to talk to you, and everybody's been talking today a little bit about gratitude and how it works and where it works, but I wanted to just kind of boil it down to the basics. And here's the thing. 4 steps. Give thanks. Say, give thanks.
Give thanks.
Rediscover your purpose.
Rediscover your purpose.
Activate your power.
Activate your power.
Evolve.
Evolve.
Let's try that again. Give thanks.
Give thanks.
Rediscover your purpose.
Rediscover your purpose.
Activate your power.
Activate your power.
Evolve.
Evolve.
Everything that's happening in your life is there, so 1, you can give thanks for it. And this is complicated because I have so many people that I know in my life that are thinking about situations, thinking about people that they said, there's no way I can give thanks for those things. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to give thanks for the thing, but you do have to give thanks for the wisdom, the testimony, the learning that came from it. And so here's the thing, in every moment, you're given an opportunity, regardless of what's going on in the outside world, to give thanks for what is going on and how you are processing it on the inside. You see, there are these little dolls that, when I was growing up, I thought was the coolest thing in the world. They're called Matryoshka dolls, or Russian dolls, or stacking dolls, or some of them call them babushka dolls. And when I was little, I don't know how they did it, because I've never been able to find another one, but my father found one in an airport that were 60 dolls inside each other. So you can imagine the outside doll was probably 12 inches in diameter, but the inside doll was so small that you could fit it on the tip of your finger. And for me, I didn't realize how valuable those dolls would be in my mindset and in the way I live my life. You see, we always hear the word about you need to get centered, you need to go within. And those dolls remind me very clearly of the fact that my life is a Matryoshka life, or a babushka life, or a stacking life. See, everything that's happened to me in my life is stacked on top of everything else. But in order to get centered, in order to get to the heart of the matter, in order to truly go within, we have to go inside each level of those dolls to get to the center. So when I talk to you about getting centered, I think when we give thanks, see, I used to say discover your purpose, but I think that's so wrong. I've changed my mind about that, and that's the beautiful thing about this life and this world. We have an opportunity and a responsibility when we're given new information to change the way we think. And so now I say rediscover your purpose rather than discover your purpose, because here's the thing. My purpose in this moment right here can be very clear, but then all of a sudden I am confronted with new information, and I am now being called to rediscover my new purpose. You see, we all think that there's one purpose. I have one purpose in life, and it's this. If you're telling yourself that, you're lying. Because in every moment, you are given an opportunity to give thanks and then rediscover your purpose. Last night I was at home and I got caught up in the television as they were delivering the election results, and everybody and their brother was calling me saying, "Oh my God, Randy, can you believe that this is happening?" And then somebody else would call with the exact opposite viewpoint and say, "Can't you believe that this is happening?" I said, "Yes, it's unbelievable." To both sides. Here's the thing, everything in your life can be unbelievable. You don't have to clarify if it's unbelievably good or unbelievably bad, it's unbelievable. So if you are not believing something, what are you being called to do? You're being called to find better understanding or more truth in it. So I want to encourage you to, one, give thanks for everything that's happening, and everything that's happening in your life should be unbelievable. Because you should be using that unbelievability to ask yourself, what am I being called to be? Who am I being called to be in this moment so I can rediscover my power or rediscover my purpose? Once you figure out that, you know what, I love the way life is going, so maybe I need to do more of this. Or I don't like the way things are going, so maybe I'm being called to do something different. Earlier, somebody made the point of if you're pointing, you got one finger going out and three coming in. That's what I'm telling you to do as well. Is anytime you have something in your world or in your life that is not making sense to you, instead of trying to change everything out there, which you'll never be able to do, start changing everything in here, which you are 100% responsible for doing, and you should also be doing. So once you realize that, hey, this is not working for me, that means you got to get to work. So say, this is not, if things aren't working for me, it's time for me to get to work. Let's say it again. If things aren't working for me, it's time for me to get to work. That's the answer to all of this madness that's going on in the world right now. If you're walking around, stomping your feet or clenching your fist or wishing things would be different, I'm here to tell you that it's your feet and your fists and your wishes that need to change, not anything out there. Because what's happening is you are being delivered a message in every moment to rediscover your power or rediscover your purpose. And when you do rediscover your purpose, then it's time to activate your power, or in Unity we say activate your powers. There's 12 of them. I won't turn it into a sermon tonight, but if you want to know more, we are here every Sunday at 11 a.m. And most Sundays I talk about the powers and how you can activate them. The other thing is next year when we do the Activate Your Power series, we will be discovering a new power every month. There are 12 powers, there are 12 months. It kind of works out really well. I know Reverend Alyssa is in the room, so next year when we do the Activate Your Power series, it will always be the second Wednesday of the month. But if you want to go deep into what the powers are that have changed my life and changed her life and changed our community's life, we'll be doing that on the first Wednesday of the month. So the first Wednesday will be the power, and then the second Wednesday will be everybody's take on the power. Because here's the thing, I don't care what you believe in as long as you believe in it and you can stand on it. Because anything you say and everything you say is unbelievable. And when I hear it, I'm being called to rediscover my purpose. And what that does is if anything happens and I disconnect, I activate my power. And then the last part is evolve. You see, I once had someone tell me, Randy, you either evolve or you become extinct. You either evolve or you become extinct. So when I'm walking around and I'm just feeling lifeless, it's because I'm becoming extinct and I'm not evolving. When I'm walking around and I feel like I'm buried deep in whatever is happening, it's because I'm becoming extinct and my mind and my body and my soul is preparing me for that. So if I'm starting to feel like I'm trapped, or I'm starting to feel like I'm confined, or I'm starting to feel like I'm buried, or I'm starting to feel like the weight of the world is on top of me, I realize that I must come up out of that coffin. I must come up out of that grave. I must come up onto this earthly plane and then rise above it and evolve. So my question is, how many of you guys are wanting to evolve today? Or how many of you guys are just ready to be extinct? If you're not ready to be extinct, then I'm going to go back to what I told you in the beginning. Give thanks. Rediscover your purpose. Activate your power. And evolve. because everything's happening for a reason. Got about 4 minutes left, so I want to just put that into context for you. In 2017, I was sitting in this very building right here, and it was getting late. But I got a call from a congregant, and we started to have a dialogue about something that was going on in their life. And I can tell you honestly, in that moment, I was thinking, man, I'd rather be home with my kid. But the conversation was taking place, and I knew that what my role was in that situation was to stand and be present in it. And I remember looking at the clock 2 or 3 times thinking, it's 9:30, it's 9:45, it's 10, it's 10:15, I really need to go. I was planning on leaving here by 9 and getting home by 9:30, and now it's 10:15, what am I gonna do? And I was a little frustrated. I was a little discombobulated, but I knew what my role was and what I was doing here, and so I followed through on it. And I remember walking out those doors and heading to my car, and as I was walking, there was just this pile of what I thought was trash or whatever. And I went to pick it up thinking it was just a blanket that was left behind, but it really was an individual sleeping under that blanket in front of our church. And I remember saying to him, get up, you gotta get up, and he did. I said, how long have you been here? He said, oh, about 10 or 15 minutes. I saw the lights were on in the inside, and I knew you'd be leaving soon, so I was trying to disguise myself. Do you mind if I sleep next to your heating element on the outside, because it's gonna keep me warm tonight? Remember, I was ready to go home. But I knew in that moment I was being called to do something different, something greater. I was a little frustrated. But for some reason, I gave thanks. I asked myself, what am I being called to do? Who am I being called to be? How am I being called to respond in this moment? I activated my power and said, I know how to solve this. And even though it didn't make any sense, I said, well, here's the thing. What if I let you in the building, but I've got to go home? But you have to promise me you won't leave until 8 a.m. in the morning when I come back. And he said, you're going to let me in your building and let me stay inside overnight without any reservations or concerns. I said, well, you're not going to steal anything, are you? He said, no. And I said, well, if you're not worried about it, I'm not worried about it. And he walked in the building and he stayed the night. And I left. He could have done anything he wanted to do in those moments, but he didn't. He just came in, he laid down, he got warm, and he stayed till 8 a.m. in the morning. Now, the reason why I know he stayed till 8 a.m. in the morning is I'm a minister, not an idiot. So I was looking on the cameras that we have in the building about once an hour to make sure he was resting peacefully and calmly, but it still worked out. And I got here the next morning and I started talking to him, and I said, well, what are you going to do tonight? He says, I don't know. And I said, well, let's try to find you someplace to go, someplace to stay. And I started calling everywhere that I knew, and nobody had space for him. So we made this little agreement. He could come back, but he had to come at 10 p.m. at night. And he had to be out at 8 a.m. in the morning. So the following night he came back, but he had 4 friends. Now I'm getting a little nervous. Now I'm wondering, why did I get involved in this? Why did I do this? Why did I say yes? But if I wasn't willing to turn down 1, why would I turn down 4? And I had so many people tell me, Randy, what are you doing? I had people in this congregation say, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because what happens if? I stand on the stage today because that moment, that opportunity to give thanks, that opportunity to rediscover my purpose, to step into my power and to rise above meant that last Thursday I stood in front of the city council and we just got approval for a 180-person houseless bed. We've been doing a houseless shelter every day, every year since this has happened on a small scale. Last year we went a little bit bigger, and this year it's going to be the most amazing thing. We now have 7 different organizations involved. And I realize now that that one person, not the one that was sleeping outside, but the one that kept me on the phone on the inside, because I would have been gone long before that. I realized that that one person that I talked to, that I was a little frustrated and watching the clock for, all it took was for me to realize how valuable their interaction would be. So how many of us are going through something in our life right now that we're going, shoot, I really don't like this, I really don't want this, I'd rather give this away. My question is, what in it will not only change your life, but change the lives of everyone around you? So whatever is going on, however hellacious it feels, however depressing it feels, however anxious it makes you feel, I invite you to give thanks for it and say, I know I am being called deeper right here and right now. And then, like a little Matryoshka doll, I invite you to break out and shed the outer and start going within. And then the next time something happens, I invite you to break out, get centered, and then try to go deeper within. You see, here's the thing, it's the breaking out. It's the crumbling of the exterior. It's the letting go of the shell that we think we were supposed to be, and slowly going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within. Because in the end, all that really matters is that we do get into our center and we find what really is ours to be, ours to do, ours to say. And when we do get to the center, we can hold our life in the palm of our hands. And nothing seems to be that big anymore. We don't sweat the big stuff because everything is small stuff in this world. So I invite you once again, before I walk off the stage, to say this with me. Give thanks.
Give thanks.
Rediscover my purpose.
Rediscover my purpose.
Activate my power.
Activate my power.
Evolve.
Evolve.
I'm going to add 2 more now. Change the world.
Change the world.
Because I changed my world.
Because I changed my world.
So who wants to change the world? Change your world and you will change the world. Amen?
Amen.
Blessings.
When everybody close their eyes and put their hand on their heart, let's do some chanting together. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Now let's start stomping. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Let's just sit in that, keep our eyes closed and sit in that silence. So the second point was to rediscover your purpose. Your purpose is already there. You just have to get out the way. By sitting in silence, it can spring up inside of us by pulling away the mask, letting the exterior crumble. We can really see what's really real in our day-to-day lives. Now you can open your eyes. Being grateful for the day, each and every day. Activating our power, allowing that to spread and evolving. If you actually switch the E and change the world, actually the acronym is GRACE. So giving thanks, rediscovering your purpose, activating your power, changing the world and evolving. GRACE. That's the power that allows us to walk with ease and confidence and certainty, knowing who we are with greater understanding, being a compassionate witness in our day-to-day experiences, letting go of all judgment, doing the best we can. Like I said earlier, it's easier said than done, but that's why this is a practice, that's why it's progress. And this next person has definitely allowed me to be open and receptive to more grace in my life. when I first seen her, I was like, there's something to her. I'm not gonna tell them the story. But since day one, I knew that this definitely was a sister. We have definitely gone through a lot together. We have made it to this point. To be here right now, to help other people stand in their power, to help other people rediscover their purpose, gain a greater understanding of who they are and what they came here to do. And she's doing that in her own life. She's being a change in many different ways. She's the owner of Gigi's Natural Hippie Salve, the co-founder of Activate Your Power now. And she's just a bright light in everybody's lives. Most importantly, she radiates love and gratitude everywhere she goes, support and strength. And for that, I'm forever grateful. Let's give it up for Isabel Black.
Hello. I'm Isabel Luz Camacho Black, or Izzy, the Intentional Healer. I want to start by thanking everybody for joining us again today. I know that you all had a choice to be anywhere else, and yet you all are here. So I want to thank you. To all of you who are here to support one of our speakers, or the movement as a whole, may you too be activated. And to everyone who's here because you resonate with our title, Activate Your Power Now, congratulations for taking the first step to your new life journey. You're in the right place with the right people. Gratitude, more than just once a year. I wish that I could say that I've always lived a life of gratitude. That would be a lie. For many years, every Sunday, I felt very accomplished as my husband and I would pull into the church parking lot with our family, our nieces, nephews, my brothers. We were the first ones to try church again in our families. So we did our best to expose as many of the littles as we could. Pulling into the parking lot, I always knew that once I got inside, whether I was serving in the children's ministries or I was sitting in a chair in the sanctuary, I knew that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling was on its way. That feeling of love, forgiveness, the feeling that I can conquer the world. And of course I could. I had God by my side. Problem was, I only had God by my side. I failed to acknowledge Him within me. And when you don't acknowledge the Christ within you, you're separated from truth. I mean, I'll back up. I forgot to tell you that leading up to arriving at church, I very rarely allowed gratitude to lead. Typically it was fear or frustrations, as Reverend said. I like that word because I learned that frustration or being frustrated is just a prettier way to say anger. I mean, how could I be grateful, right? The kids were taking forever to get ready again. We were going to be late to church again. Couldn't find what I wanted to wear to church. What I wanted to wear was in the dirty clothes, right? The week's been crazy, so laundry's piling up. I could go on and on for all the things that kept me from being grateful. You know, I learned that just because I'm doing the right things in life, it didn't necessarily make me a good person. To me, when I'm being a good person, is when I have an understanding about life. And that's that everything is working in my favor, even when I feel it's not. Choosing to give thanks for what is has transformed my life. After starting an intentional life journey in 2017, I started to hang up notes all around my house so that I can stay in alignment with who I was striving to be in life. One of the notes read, "Feel the feelings and choose the behaviors." This was a huge practice that really transformed my life because I stopped reacting and I started praying. So emotional maturity is what I gained from gratitude. In 2020, while I was meditating, God gave me an insight on prayer and how it works. The most important thing that He wanted me to take note on was that prayer is simply giving thanks. He told me that the minute that I start asking for anything in life, that I am no longer believing what I really believe to be true is really true. Wow. That awareness still leaves me in awe every single time I practice that. The minute I find myself asking for anything in life, I pause, breathe, give thanks, as I know that anything that I need in life to accomplish anything that I want to accomplish is waiting for me to catch up to it. Or in some cases, simply waiting for me to acknowledge it. It's right in front of me. Then I give thanks for the courage to take the first or the next best step, even if I'm not feeling confident. I gracefully allow as much time necessary to receive clarity on the next best step, even if other people don't understand. Next, I surrender to the process. Giving thanks to each trial and tribulation while in the process will allow space within for something new to arrive. Keeping a balanced cycle of shedding what no longer serves ultimate purpose and receiving newly creates a culture within self of continuous growth. While in intentional growth, you can't help but to live a life of gratitude more than just once a year. And while all that sounds great, and it is great, none of it matters if we're doing it all for self. Servancy, or serving others, is what completes and sustains it all. Without sharing yourself and your gifts with others, you'll find yourself achieving the world and feeling lonely and without purpose all at the same time. It's through serving and supporting one another that we will begin to see real change around us. Real change in our communities, real change in our families, real change in our jobs, and real changes in our churches. I'm Isabel Luz Camacho Black, or Izzy, the Intentional Healer. And I invite you all to join me in healing humanity by first healing yourself. Thank you.
What are you believing? Is it true? Don't believe the fear. Don't believe the hype. It's the story that is coming back into your awareness. But yet the story is based off past thoughts, experiences, and memories. And yet it's still controlling your day-to-day, in the moment, in the now. So when it comes up, 2 words that came to me, it's okay. It's okay. That brings you back centered. And from that position, you can think clearly, what is my next best move? You go from reacting to observing, to being the witness of that story, or just allowing it to be, and not allowing it to control your thoughts, your movements, and your actions. Being a change in your own life. So now that we have everybody and they all share their perspective, I just want to lock it in. I want to lock in that attitude of gratitude before we leave, because sometimes it's hard to be grateful for things outside of ourselves. It's hard to get into that attitude of gratitude, but there's something we can always be grateful for, and that's our bodies. Always working 24/7. Our hearts always pumping blood, even when we're not aware. Our lungs taking in the breath. So let's close our eyes for a second. Let's take a deep breath. Let's imagine that we're staring at the sunrise. And the sun is just coming up over the horizon. And that golden light is entering through our eyes, filling up our bodies, making its way to our feet, up through our ankles, through our knees, through our waist, through our hearts and our arms, filling up our head, pouring out the top. We're overflowing with this golden light. Now this light is inducing a smile on our face. It feels so warm. And we know this light. Now we want to take that smile. We want to smile down into our heart space. Imagine a big, beautiful smile over our hearts. Imagine you hugging your heart and saying, thank you. I love you. taking that same smiling energy and smiling it down to your lungs, hugging your lungs and saying thank you. Always breathe in. Taking that smiling energy down to your kidneys. I like to see them hugging each other. Group hug. Thank you. I love you. Taking it down to any other place you feel needs love in your body. Take that smiling energy and smile down into that place of your body. Smile down to your pancreas, smile down to your liver, smile down to your feet, and just give thanks for your body always functioning at its highest capacity, even if that capacity is not what you think it should be, is where you need to be right now. Say I love you, and just sit in that presence just for a bit. Let's take a deep breath and breathe in that golden light. And as we breathe out, let's breathe out all that muck, shake it out, that dark energy, that negative energy that we don't want, let's shake it out. Shake it out. Let's take in one more breath. Breathe in and breathe out, shaking it out. Okay, this is called washing the mind. Washing our hearts and our minds of anything that no longer serves. And when we pull up the solutions or we pull up the problems in our life, we're now seeing it through a different perspective, seeing it through a different lens that allows us to tap in into infinite possibilities, that allows us to tap in to infinite solutions. The quantum realm, transcending time and space, and going within and really understanding what's the next step. But from that place of radiating that gratitude from within, knowing that, and being thankful for everything that allows us to be here right now, this human body, to take on the day with great spirit and great love. So now as you leave this place, you leave this place with that energy, that essence radiating from you. From there, you can lift somebody's day just by your smile, just by the light and the sparkle in your eyes, just by your presence. That's all you gotta do. It's really that simple. You can open your eyes, look around. Thank you. That's it.